Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something today that sounds pretty wild. A system that claims you can unlock serious wealth with just like an hour of work a day. I mean, come on, does that even sound possible?
Yeah, productless business model promising financial freedom and like barely any effort.
Gotta say, I'm a little skeptical, but definitely curious too. Like
Yeah.
the holy grail, right?
Yeah, totally. So we're breaking down this thing called the Yellow Brick Formula. It's an online masterclass by this guy, Sean Donahoe. And apparently it's all about microcap investments, specifically like a hidden area within that whole world. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with microcaps, they're basically these tiny companies on the stock market.
Yeah, think of them like startups. Huge growth potential, but also way riskier than those big established companies.
Makes sense. High risk, high reward, right? And this Yellow Brick Formula claims it can give you a roadmap to navigate this whole microcap world. They even say you could see potential returns from like 70% to a mind-blowing 2,400%. Whoa, those numbers definitely get your attention. But you know, any investment that promises those kinds of crazy returns, you really got to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism. And do your own research too.
For sure. Always got to be critical, right? So let's break down what this 5-day live masterclass actually involves. Each day seems to focus on a different part of this yellow brick formula puzzle. Day 1 is all about setting up a freedom business, which is supposed to be built around like one simple skill.
Ah, the old simple solution hook. It always makes you wonder what that magic skill could be. But you know, simple in theory doesn't always mean easy in practice.
Good point. Day 2 is all about uncovering those hidden gem microcaps, like panning for gold but in the stock market. They call it finding gold in the sand.
Yeah, clever analogy. But you gotta remember, even the best gold panners spend hours and hours sifting through dirt. Just like finding these golden microcaps probably takes work, knowledge, and maybe even some luck.
Then day 3 focuses on creating what they call a production line process for consistent wealth creation. Sounds pretty systematic, right?
Yeah, and that's maybe where the productless part comes in. Instead of creating a physical product, your product is like your expertise, your ability to spot and capitalize on these microcap opportunities.
Ooh, that's interesting. It's like you're selling your knowledge and insights. Then day 4 gets even more hands-on. They actually do live application hunting for deals and evaluating opportunities together. Talk about learning by doing.
Adds a bit of excitement and practicality for sure. It's like a treasure hunt, but with an experienced captain guiding you. But even with the best captain navigating uncharted waters always has some risk.
Right, good reminder. And finally, day 5 is all about celebrating wins. They announce a prize winner and focus on the next steps. Sounds like a mix of motivation and keeping the momentum going.
Yeah, it's a smart way to build a sense of community and encourage people to stay engaged. It taps into that human desire for recognition and achievement, which can be powerful motivators. So we've got this cool structure, big promise. But what about the actual content? Like, what does Sean Donahoe actually teach in this yellow brick formula?
Yeah, let's dig into that and see if we can find some real insights. From what I've gathered, it's all about microcap trading, but specifically in the cryptocurrency market. Now that adds like a whole other level of complexity, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Remember we were saying microcaps are kind of like startups with huge growth potential. Well, imagine those startups in the crazy world of cryptocurrency. It's like trying to pick a winning horse in a race where the rules keep changing.
That's a perfect analogy. Sounds exciting, but also super challenging. So what's the secret? What's this simple skill Donahoe says can unlock these opportunities?
Well, the material doesn't give away the exact method, but it emphasizes finding and going after these early stage cryptocurrency projects with a lot of growth potential. It's all about spotting those diamonds in the rough before they like blow up in value.
Well, it's about being ahead of the curve, predicting those trends before they hit the mainstream. Seems like you'd need a really deep understanding of the crypto world, right?
Absolutely. It's not just about luck. It's about seeing those patterns, analyzing trends, and really understanding the tech behind these projects. Donahoe talks about building a production line process for finding and evaluating these opportunities. Sounds pretty systematic.
So that's where the product list thing comes in. You're basically selling your expertise, your ability to figure out this complex world. Your knowledge is the product.
Exactly. You're not building a physical product or a service. You're using your insights to find those potentially profitable investments. It's a cool concept, like a modern-day treasure hunter using their skills to find hidden value.
I love that analogy. But even with the best map and compass, treasure hunting isn't always a sure thing, right?
Exactly. And that's where managing expectations is super important. While those high returns are definitely possible, it's key to remember that no system can totally eliminate risk, especially in the world of cryptocurrency.
Right? It's finding that balance between the potential rewards and the risks. Speaking of rewards, the material shows some pretty impressive student results. We've got testimonials talking about huge profits and even early retirements.
Testimonials can be really powerful. They paint this picture of success and possibility, but you gotta approach them with a critical eye. Remember, they're often carefully chosen, showing you the wins, and maybe not all of the losses or challenges.
That's a great point. It's like watching a highlight reel. You're only seeing the best parts, not the whole story. So how can our listeners avoid falling for the hype and make a smart decision?
That's where doing your own research is super important. Look beyond the marketing stuff, dive into those forums, read reviews, try to find some unbiased info about Sean Donahoe and his methods. It's like checking your map with a compass and maybe even a satellite image, just to be sure.
Love that. So we've got a potentially cool system, a charismatic teacher, and some impressive-looking testimonials. But we also know to be skeptical and do our own research. Okay, so we've talked about the potential rewards and the need to be skeptical, but I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, the risks.
Yeah, definitely. We've been talking about those high returns and all, but it's so important to understand the risks that come with microcap trading, especially in the crypto market.
Right? It's like exploring a jungle. You might find amazing treasures, but there are also hidden dangers lurking everywhere.
Exactly. So what are some red flags our listeners should watch out for?
Yeah, let's break it down.
Well, first off, you've got volatility. Microcaps are famous for their crazy price swings. It's like riding a roller coaster in the dark. You never know which way you're going next. One day you're up, the next you're down.
Whoa, sounds intense.
It is definitely not for the faint of heart. And that volatility is tied to another big risk, liquidity. It's basically how easy it is to buy or sell something. Microcaps often have low trading volume, meaning there might not be enough buyers or sellers when you need them. It's like trying to sell a rare antique in a tiny town.
So you could end up stuck with something that's losing value and can't get out easily.
Exactly. Not a good situation. And then there's the risk of scams and manipulation. The microcap market, especially in the crypto world, can be a breeding ground for bad actors. You gotta be extra careful.
So it's not just about analyzing the investment itself, but also making sure the people involved are legit.
Absolutely. Due diligence is key. And one more thing we can't forget about fundamental analysis. Just because a company or project is small or new doesn't automatically mean it's a good investment. You can't judge a book by its cover. You gotta look deeper.
So look beyond the hype and really understand the value of the investment.
Exactly. Analyze the team, the technology, the market potential. Make informed decisions. Don't just chase the latest trend.
Okay, so we've laid out the risks. But let's be real. Every investment has some level of risk. So for someone interested in this yellow brick formula, what advice would you give them to approach this responsibly?
First things first, education is key. Don't jump in blindly. Take some time to learn about microcap trading, the crypto market, and the specific strategies Sean Donahoe teaches. It's like learning to swim before you jump in the ocean.
So empower yourself with knowledge and the tools to navigate this world.
Exactly. And then start small. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. This is a high-risk game, so pack enough supplies, but don't overpack.
Love that analogy. Start with a manageable load and scale up as you gain experience.
Precisely. And throughout the whole process, focus on risk management. Think of it like setting up safety nets along the way. Set stop-loss orders to limit your losses, diversify your portfolio, and never chase those losses.
All great advice. So we've explored the potential rewards, the risks, and responsible investing. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. The yellow brick formula seems like an interesting system, but approach it with a critical mind and be realistic about the challenges. No system is foolproof, and microcap trading, especially with crypto, is inherently risky. So be careful, do your research, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So for our listeners, could this be your path to financial freedom, or is it a road filled with danger? That's up to you to decide. We've given you the map and compass. Now it's your turn to chart your course. And hey, if you want to learn more about the yellow brick formula, you can visit tiny.cc yellowbrick. That's tiny.cc yellowbrick. Until next time, happy exploring.